What is going on, people? NGS back again for another video. It is time once again for a Sunday Switch discussion. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode we are not really talking about the Switch itself, but more Nintendo, and I guess you could say it pertains to the Switch, and how they've decided to do a complete 180 on their YouTube content creator policy. Now, for those of you guys who are unaware, a couple of years back, Nintendo introduced a pretty egregious way of allowing you, the gamer, to upload videos onto YouTube. I'm not really going to get into the specifics behind that because everybody has talked about it to death. But what is really important and why I think this is a sign of things to come, a better Nintendo could potentially be in the works, is that they are going against their word and removing said policy. Now, for a lot of people out there, this really isn't a big news story because, as we've seen with many other companies out there, when they come out with something that is pretty anti-consumer, it's swiftly redacted, retracted, and changed to appease the consumer. Yet Nintendo, they don't like to play ball with that. You can chalk that up to the way the company is run. It's run by, for the most part, a lot of very old Japanese businessmen who have a very rigid way of thinking. But I think with the appointment of this new CEO, as we saw a few months back, and the fact that he is unlike those guys, he is still Japanese, but he's very young. He grew up in a different generation than said personnel. And the way that we've seen him address some of the things with the Switch, I honestly think is for the betterment of the company. And this right here, I think, is a small stepping stone in that direction. What's been the biggest critique that we have all leveled towards Nintendo? Not necessarily with this generation on the Switch, but to be honest, for the past 10 years, the way that they interact with their online community is pretty piss poor, to say the least. I know a lot of people like to say that, well, they're great handling online hype, with their directs and how they can control the narrative and the audience and the media. Yeah, Nintendo is good with that, but when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, something like that is not really beneficial for you, the consumer. What are the things that nowadays people care about? They care about online in their video games. And as we've seen with the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo is always, they've been kind of wonky when it comes to including online with their games. But on the Switch, more often than not, we've been seeing them make steps in the right direction. Games like Mario Tennis now have online. Games like Mario Party now have online. However, they have some caveats. It's not the online experience we've been waiting for. There's a couple of restrictions that come with it that I'm not going to get into right now, but there's a reason why those games don't have that much longevity. It's because, like, when we say we want online, we want an online multiplayer experience that's actually been, built for the ground up, built for longevity. It's why no one is running around saying, yo, let's get all the friends together and play some Mario Party online. I wish it was like that, but the way Nintendo designed it, the infrastructure of the set game, it just doesn't promote you getting together with your friends and playing these experiences. But as we've seen, I think that some of those decisions were made from a different era of Nintendo. The decisions that they made going into this are with that mindset that, well, here's online. This is what you guys wanted, right? They're giving you the bare minimum and nothing more. And as we've seen nowadays, you can't really get by on the bare minimum when it comes to online. If your online is not a fully fleshed out experience to keep gamers coming back and wanting more, it's not going to survive at all. Case in point, the games like Mario Party and Mario Tennis. Sure, they're coming out there and they're doing updates to try to bring people back, but realistically, are people coming back to play those games? No, they are not. Smash Bros. Itself is a different beast entirely. Like, you could literally just put online, you could just put lobbies and just leave it alone for a few years and people will like it. However, I think that gamers in general deserve a lot more. They don't deserve a Smash Bros. Online experience that is just that. They deserve a Smash Bros. Online experience that is complete with all these features and customizations that we see in other games. In fact, if they were able to take the template for some games, like some really popular shooters or the battle royales, and incorporate that into their online experiences, I think that we could be seeing a lot of these Nintendo games played to that degree. Now, obviously, they are different genres, so you'll have to cater to the differences between them. But I think that a premier focus on online can really help them going forward in the future. And I think that's what this CEO kind of understands, because as we've seen now with the removal of this content creator program, we see that they realize that, hey, online promotion for video games is free advertising at the end of the day. Whether or not you believe that you should be making money off of this game because you own the IP is irrelevant, considering there is a whole segment of people out there who weren't interested in your game until their particular streamer played it for the first time. And there are a lot of streamers who are against playing Nintendo games because unless they subscribe to this egregious service and they sold their soul away for pennies, they weren't going to be getting much out of it. And I know a lot of people like to say that, well, that just means they're greedy, that they're going to pass up on a great game just because they can't make money off of it. Guys, I don't know if you were just very young or you don't understand this, but a lot of people, this is their full-time job. And if they're going to be spending X amount of time on a game, playing it, rendering it, uploading the video, streaming it, whatever, that takes time out of their day. And whether or not they're doing this as a full-time job or they're doing this as a hobby in addition to all the other side hustles they got going on, that takes time. And for some people, it isn't just as simple as being 15 years old and having unlimited time and no responsibilities to upload whatever you want. For some people, money does go a long way. And if they had a choice of playing a Nintendo game or playing something that is equally as impressive, like Nier Automata, some people might want to go down that route. Like, some people wouldn't want to worry about getting copyright strikes if they can play a game like Yakuza Kiwami 2 and Yakuza 0, which, let's be real about life for a second. The sheer fact that Yakuza is such a big hit now was because of social media and this generation and the PlayStation 4 and people sharing clips and being like, yo, dog, I never heard of this series before, but I copped it because everyone was sharing these badass freaking cutscenes and fight montages, like all that stuff came from social media and social engagement. So the fact that this is taken away, I think this is a great sign of things to come. Now, yes, Smash Bros. Is a beast entirely, so you didn't have to worry about that. People were going to upload the videos regardless. But I think this is great because this means that other games that Nintendo owns, people can upload them and not have to worry about it. So it's a win-win scenario in my book. I'm very happy that Nintendo is seeing the light, the error of their ways, if you will. Granted, it took them a few years to realize that. But if we can get better things out of this because they're doing it, I'm all for it. Maybe, who knows, with the successor to the Switch, we might get an online system where we can add our friends by their usernames, or maybe we can send messages in a group chat on the Switch too, or something just even crazier. This is just mind-boggling. We could have party chat. Now, I know that's a stretch. We might not be able to get these features, but who knows, man? 2024, I'm here for the future of Nintendo, man. Party chat all the way. Holding companies accountable is very important, ladies and gentlemen. We held Sony to the wall when they refused to add true crossplay. We held Nintendo to the wall over all this egregious stuff. Who's to say what's next? Maybe Microsoft removing the free-to-play paywall that they have for all of those games. It's not really free-to-pay. Free-to-pay, yeah, it is kind of free-to-pay. It's not really free-to-play when you have to subscribe to a $60 a year service. When on the other platforms, you don't have to. I'm telling you guys, hold these companies accountable. Be vocal. Just because you bought a system doesn't mean you just gotta be quiet about it. Because why would Nintendo reverse a policy like this unless people were complaining? Why would Sony? They're in a position where they don't need to care about what the consumer thinks. They're selling millions upon millions of units and giving people what they want, banging out quality exclusive after quality exclusive. Why do you think they came out and reversed those policies? Because social media engagement, games like Fortnite having Battle Royale and all these other games coming out, it's going to be the next big thing. And if you can play with all your friends regardless of platforms, that's a big thing. And in some cases, yeah, Sony will probably be making less money off of those games because they don't have to download a separate copy, if you will. But keeping people happy, keeping the consumers coming back to you, getting in their good graces can go a long way. It honestly can. Granted, Microsoft has done multiple 180s on the Xbox One this generation, and it hasn't helped them one bit. But who knows? We'll see what happens when the Xbox 2 comes out or whatever. Anyways, from me to you for now, my name is NGS, signing out. Like always, I catch you guys later. Peace.